If you were to inherit that $315 billion or so of debt, what would you do about it?
Well, the starting point is you need to go through all areas of government expenditure. Be prepared to make some hard decisions. I've done that before as a minister. I would do it again as a treasurer. Make some hard decisions about government expenditure. Secondly, you need to look at ways that you can reallocate the money to grow the pie, particularly focusing on small business. There are 2.5 million small businesses in Australia. At the time of the last economic downturn, there were about 500,000 in the early 90s. So we are starting off a far larger base. A lot of those small businesses are underworked at the moment. They're underemployed, and therefore you've got to try and stimulate investment by those people. It's very important if you want to try and bounce out of the downturn.
Is it inevitable that regardless of who's in office over the next decade, the taxes are going to have to rise?
Well, I don't know that it's inevitable, but certainly taxes, if they are going to rise, if take your assumption that taxes inevitably will rise, then they'll rise by less under the Liberal Party than they will under Labor.
Yeah, well, why is that?
Well, because we don't spend as much as Labor, and therefore there wouldn't be the funding gap under a Liberal government that there is under Labor.
Then you wouldn't have got the economy to recover in the way that it has.
No, I would say that we would have spent more wisely. We would have given the Reserve Bank greater flexibility to go further. The Reserve Bank stopped at 3% cash rate. There is a very strong argument that they might have gone further, but for the fact that there was such a large cash stimulus at that point of time. And the question is whether that fiscal stimulus was targeted as well as perhaps a further cut in the cash rate by the RBA might have been. And this is a debate that hasn't been had, but it should be had. In fact, if you look at the language of the RBA carefully, they were holding back on going further than 3%, in part because of the massive fiscal stimuluses. Therefore, if there's wastage in the stimulus, the question is, would it have been better to have a further cut in interest rates?